Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Barbara with another Gardener's Journey Homestead. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. And if you're a faithful follower, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming time and time again. So I'm outside the hot tunnel this morning, and y'all, can you believe it's going to be 92 degrees today? It is mid-September. I thought fall was here, thought it was coming. And it's 92 degrees today. And I think it's supposed to be like 94 tomorrow. And then it goes back to like 75. Crazy, crazy weather. But it's about 10 or so in the morning. I was out here earlier around 8 o'clock for like maybe 10 minutes to just check on things because I wasn't out here yesterday. And I had a meeting, ran back in. So I decided to come back out here and thought, let me do some stuff before it gets hot. Because at 8 o'clock, it was very pleasant. And y'all, 2 hours later, it's hot. It's like 97 degrees in the hot tunnel. It feels a little bit better out here. But the work that I thought I was going to do now, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I was going to be in the hot tunnel planting some stuff. But it's too hot. And I hate to say that in September. So what I think I'm going to do is let's take a walk through the garden and harvest what we can, since it's a little bit cooler out here. But I also want to show you my seedlings and how they're doing. So let's do that first. Okay, you can see the soil blocks and how they're doing overall. Doing okay. You can see on the right hand side that don't have as much germination. I planted those a little bit later, and 2 of those rows are spinach, and for whatever reason the spinach is taking forever to germinate. I've started spinach 3 times, and I have some spinach, but the what I do have, it took forever. This is where we started our seeds from to begin with. And remember, I told you it's so hard to get these things out. But what I've been doing is I've been taking them out and I've been transferring them into bigger pots until I'm ready to plant them. So a lot of these pots that you see here are from there. You can see also some of these. Those are turnip greens that I took from here and put there. So you can see that these seem to be overall doing good and just ready to be planted. You can see our limes. Let's see. Limes are getting bigger, which is good. And we have lots of blossoms on the lemon. Man, the breeze feels good. If it could just stay that way. So here's my basket. I've already picked some tomatoes from the hot tunnel. Let's go out here and see what else we can get. Y'all, it's hot. But let me show you what we got. Basket is full within minutes. We have some habaneros, tomatoes, bell peppers. We have some, here's a big bell pepper. First of all, why did I go out there with this small basket? Why? Do y'all do that? Do y'all go in the garden? And this morning I came out here without a basket. And even this morning at 8 o'clock in my little 5-minute walkthrough drive-by, I got 5 bell peppers, big bell peppers. They're in the house. And you would think I would learn my lesson. I came out here with this small basket. It's filled to the brim in literally less than 10 minutes. Let me get a bigger basket and dump this in there because there was more to go get. Okay. You can see here, oh, it keeps moving around. Anyway, you can see here all the goodies we got. Nice big bell peppers. I got like 6 more of those. Tomatoes still coming through. And I even have some of the smaller tomatoes as well, like these, and habaneros. But this basket, it filled up like maybe a 1/4 of this basket, and you can see the size of it. I don't know why we continually go to the garden with no basket and using our shirt, and then we go out there with the basket, and it's a small basket when we know that typically that basket is not big enough. Anyway, you would think that we would just know better by now. The breeze feels good. There's a whole bunch of purple hull peas out there on the vine that need to be picked, that are still coming in. I'm just still amazed that I'm still getting tomatoes with every basket. And a lot of times I'm getting them when they're blushing and they're not exactly ripe. And I put them in the windowsill, and in 2 to 3 days, well, let me back up. I've been picking tomatoes, and it still amazes me that I'm still getting tomatoes. So I probably got, let's see, I have about 6 of these like paste tomatoes. These are the Amish paste. I probably have 6 of them in this basket. 8. And then I probably have about 10 of these. So compared to, of course, earlier summer harvest, it doesn't seem like a lot, right? You know, and I get that, let's just say 2 or 3 times a week, you know, here and there. So when I go in the house, they're blushing, you know, kind of like this. They're not all the way ripe. I put them in the windowsill for, you know, 2 or 3 days or so. And I just keep dumping them in there as I go, as I get a little, you know, 3 or 4 here, 3 or 4 there. And what happens is, before I know it, I have a basket full that's in front of the windowsill. And in a couple of more days, all of them are red and ripe. And I have a whole basket full of red and ripe tomatoes, even though I was only picking 3 or 4 at a time. And then I'll process those in terms of, I've just been putting them in freezer bags. And I've been saying probably for the last 2 to 3 batches, okay, this is my last set of tomatoes. This is my last set of tomatoes. Because in my mind, as I'm putting those in freezer bags to go to the freezer to be processed later, and that's my last bag, I may have went out to the garden and picked 2 of these. But I'm thinking, oh, I'll just eat those fresh, right? And 2 days later, I'll pick 2 more of these. And I'm like, oh, that's not enough I'm not going to put 4 in a freezer bag. We'll just eat those fresh, slice them up, put them on top of nachos, something like that. No worries. I've been saying that for the last month, and I keep dropping them in the little basket. And literally, y'all, before I know it, I have another bag to add to the freezer. So I'm not going to say this time these are the last tomatoes, because I don't think it's the last tomatoes. I'm just amazed that I'm still getting tomatoes in September. Just when you think the harvest is over, sometimes it kicks in gear, or stays in gear, and just keeps producing. So I'm just going to let them keep producing. Now, the ones in the hot tunnel, you guys saw me on an earlier video, I kind of pulled a lot of those tomatoes out. I only have 2 left in the hot tunnel. And quite frankly, the only reason they're still in there is because I just physically couldn't pull them up. They were like just really, really rooted in the ground. It was taking too much strength. And so I'm just waiting on my husband to come and help me to pick them up. But off those plants this morning is where I got some of the tomatoes. And then there were some on the ground. So where I had pulled the plants up and some of the tomatoes were green but not yet blushing, somehow they still blushed even though they weren't connected in the ground anymore. And I was picking up tomatoes off the ground over plants that I had already, you know, pulled up. These tomatoes said, look, I'm not going anywhere. And you know what? I'm here for it. I am here for it. Oh, it just warms my soul. There's nothing like going out to the garden and picking something. There's just nothing like it. Like, you just get it off the vine and take it into your house, and you can use it for later, preserve it, or go ahead and use it right now. Like, this is a red bell pepper that's blushing, so I'll let it finish ripening. But the ones that I got this morning were all red bell peppers. There's like 5 of them, and they were huge. So even when I think it's the last, it has not been the last. So what else is left on the list today is I'm gonna harvest some purple hull peas. Maybe we'll go ahead and do that now. It's like the sun just shifted a bit. So let's see if we can get some purple hull peas in right now. And then when the temperature drops this evening, we can come back in the hot tunnel and put our stuff out and pull some more stuff up. Let's see if we can get some more purple whole peas. You think we can? Let's see. Look at that. Basket is full. Let's see. I have to put that in a different basket. Full. Is there more out there? Yes. That's not too shabby for the end of September. It's hot. The breeze comes and then the breeze goes. But I'm thankful for the breeze. Wow. I'm just still in awe. I'm just still in amazement. I would love to know how your gardens are doing. Let me know if you're still reaping your summer 2022 harvest. I know that many of you that are in California, in certain parts, you guys have had like triple digits. And so it's been a tough gardening season. And I know like in Missouri, I think like in the Ozarks, you guys went through a drought earlier this summer. So again, we can't predict the weather. We never know what we're going to get. And so that's why it's always important to be grateful for the harvest that we do get, right? Because we never know when a crop is not going to do well, if weather's going to take it out, if weather's going to, or if pests are going to cause it to, you know, not be good. So I'm just still in amazement is what I keep saying. I'm grateful. It's nothing like growing your own food and going out there to harvest. Y'all, that just makes me, that's a whole bucket of happy. That's a whole bucket of happy. I'm so excited. So now we gotta shell these and put them in the freezer. And my little stacks are just building up and I'm grateful. That's what the summer is all about, is trying to grow food that you can eat fresh, but then also put it away so you can have it the rest of the year. And I can have fresh purple whole peas in January when they're not in season, so to speak. And I can have, you know, peach cobbler in February that tastes like it's July. That's what it's all about. That's why you want to grow your food now, so that you have some to eat, but then that also that you have some to preserve. So as this season is ending in terms of the summer season, I know that many of us are planning for fall. Some of us are going to take a break, which is fine, and you're going to pick back up next spring and summer. But be thinking about now what you want to do differently next summer. Be thinking about what you want to grow, what went well, what didn't go well. I did a recap video a couple of weeks ago. I'll try to link it up here, where I kind of went through my own harvest summer recap, and I talked about what went well for me, what didn't go well, what I'll grow again, what I'll do differently. I think one of the things, I don't know if I mentioned it on this video, is that this summer I planted both purple whole peas and black eyed peas. I had black eyed peas in the tunnel and I had the purple whole peas out there. And I think next summer I'm just going to plant one, which is the purple whole peas. They are so prolific. I have gotten so much from the purple whole peas that I think that's where I'm going to focus, and it'll be outside. And that means that I just gave myself 2 more rows in the hot tunnel that don't have to be reserved for black eyed peas. So I'm glad about that. I'm excited about that, because that means I can put more of something in the tunnel or something new in the tunnel that I hadn't tried. I know one of the things that I'm going to do for next summer season is I'm going to plant some greenhouse varieties in the actual greenhouse, things that are designed to withstand the high heat and the humidity. So some hybrid varieties. I did not do that this time specifically for the greenhouse, but I'm going to try that next summer season. So that just gives me, you know, 2 rows to play with, because I had 2 rows of black eyed peas in there this fall. And for me, I mean, the taste is different, but it's similar enough. I like both. I don't like one more than another. So I'm perfectly fine with just dedicating the space to purple whole peas. And as you saw in the outside garden, I had maybe half of 100-foot row of purple hull peas. And y'all probably have seen, I've gotten this at least 20 times, at least like this much, at least 20 times. And that's probably being super conservative. They have been, this is my first time growing them. They have been extremely prolific. Love. So I need to go check my seeds to see how many more I have. Of course, I can save some from there, but also make sure that I keep them in stock. I don't even remember. I think they're Baker's Creek. I think they're pink, purple hull, something like that. Let me just go make sure I have some for sure, because winner, game changer. So thank you guys for hanging out with me on this like quick mid-morning harvest. The garden's still, when I say magical, I don't mean magical in the sense of wizardry. The garden, though, is still magical to me. It is amazing how many lessons it brings me, how much joy it brings me to put a seed in the ground, to see that whole process. Then there's food that you can pick, and you literally can go from your farm to your table. It hasn't gotten old yet, and I'm glad about it. If you like what you're seeing here and you like hanging out with me, then I would be greatly appreciative if you would hit the subscribe button and come watch me and know when I'm going live. And so that way you can always catch my videos. And in the meantime, I'll pop a couple of videos up here that you can watch in between now and my next upload. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure, if you haven't been out in your garden today, that you go spend some time in your garden, if it's just for a few minutes. Let the garden speak to you. Let it soothe your soul. Let it encourage you. There's so many lessons to gain in the garden. And I would love to know how your gardens are doing this summer, if you're still getting harvest, and how things are going. But until next time, remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you soon.